So what did I miss? We were talking about getting rid of Officer Williams' fears of ghosts. Hey, ghosts? Yeah, you're afraid of them, right, Dooley? No idea, never met one. We stopped a ghost riot. Ghosts aren't real, so you don't need to be scared of them. Easy. There you go, I guess. Sorry that wasn't much help. Nah, what you said, that they're just like us, that's a good thing to be reminded of. Exactly. They used to be alive, just like us. As long as they don't try to eat, possess, or violently murder you, you should be fine. Very reassuring. Just talk to them. Feel their culture, listen to their issues and spectral wails. Treat them like another person, see what's going on inside. Which should be easy since you can see through them. I thought you didn't believe in ghosts. It's best not to overthink anything he says. I certainly don't. Well, thanks for the advice. I think it'll help. Our pleasure. Now, Dooley, I think we should read that case briefing and find out why we're here. I already did. Oh? Turns out we were meant to arrest the person driving that taxi. Instead of taking it all the way to Seattle, yes. Why? The driver was a chupacabra. Ugh. Okay, let's get out of here, Dooley. Good luck, officer. Thanks, McQueen. A lot. You too, Officer Dooley. Bye, guy. Good luck with your rat problem or whatever. Bye, Coffee Wizard. Take care. That was quite something. Well, what do you know, Emmy? Looks like my good luck is back. I'm feeling like $1,000,000 now. I'm very glad you do. Haha. Thanks anyway, Emmy. I really did nothing much. Are you going to be okay? Okay enough to start thinking about what to do next. I'm done here for the night. You have a good evening, alright? Please keep me updated, officer, and stay safe. Will do. Alright then. Maybe I'll go check stock and... Huh? Miss Riona, welcome. Hello. How's the traffic out there? It's a mess. There's construction work taking place on Leonora Avenue. Oof. I can imagine the gridlock already. Fortunately, I have no deliveries to make today. That's great. I'm happy you're here. So, anything I can make for you this evening? I'd like something for my throat. I would appreciate a cup of tea infused with some lemon and a touch of honey. Okay. A cup of warm Midsummer Night's Dream for you, miss. That's what we call it here. How whimsical. It's wonderful. Sweet, but well balanced with the lemon, and the slight bitterness of the tea completes the taste. Thank you. You're so very welcome. By the way, you just missed Officer Georgie by a few seconds. Is that so? How is he? He's been thinking about what you said quite a bit, actually. Oh. He's currently dealing with plenty of clues he isn't used to. That's why he's hard at work at the moment. I see. Bad traffic aside, how are you? To be honest, I've had a lot on my mind of late, and I don't know how to express it without sounding pathetic. You know, I'm all ears. That may actually be part of the problem, I'm afraid. Pardon? You know, I've held conversations with more individuals over the past week than I have in the past few years. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's troubling. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't mean it necessarily in a negative way. It's just, I used to believe that I had a settled life objective, but I've been doubting it lately. How come? I finally heard back from Miss Rachel yesterday. Oh? Any good news? No. Our fields are admittedly quite different, so I was not expecting much. However, she provided me with some contacts who may be of assistance, even though they had no direct connection to the audience I'm trying to reach. I see. She explained clearly why she thinks I should contact them. However, which I am thankful for. That's very thoughtful of her. So what's the battle plan? And why are you doubting yourself? In essence, the advice is to slowly increase my network, to make myself known. Oh? Sounds familiar, doesn't it? You can probably guess my concern about it. I think so. But could you give me a refresher, just so I don't misunderstand? I feel like that would be a shortcut, so to speak. Right. She did, however, remind me of an important and humbling fact. What would that be? Well... Oh, but it's not guaranteed you'll get anything out of it, don't you think? unless you're really, really sure the so-called shortcut is 100% gonna work. Because you'll have to do way, way more than just making a few calls and waiting for callbacks, you know? I'd say that's a decent impression of her. Thank you. After that, she told me a story about her early career experiences, both good and the bad. Getting noticed is truly only the beginning. Then it is either a matter of letting your talent speak for you, or you go out there to develop connections with the right people. Even then, there's still no guarantee of success. After listening to her explanation, I respect Miss Rachel's determination. I can certainly see how it worked out for her. But then I was left wondering whether Mr. Lucas meant something similar during our first meeting. Right, I thought it all sounded familiar. Will you try her suggestion then? I don't know. Is it difficult? No more difficult than sending reels to every audition I've come across and being rejected by every single one. But for some reason I feel conflicted about it. Speaking of Mr. Lucas, he and I have also continued our correspondence. Although perhaps it was a little more of a necessity. Did something happen? He was stuck. Pardon? Actually, he posted it on social media last night. Oh? I might have seen it. Did you? I came across it when I was updating my schedule and responded out of concern. Then he called me almost immediately. He was loud. All sounds in order. And extremely drunk. Really? He denied it at first, but it was too obvious not to notice. He told me he was walking aimlessly, deep in thought, and entered Kerry Park without realizing he had done so. Must have been some deep thinking he was doing, because I think it rained pretty hard last night. Well, I wouldn't know. The bus to and from there is currently not operating after 10 p.m, which is why I sent him a message informing him of that fact, as he seemed to be unaware of it, right? So he called me to ask if there was any other mode of transit nearby. Wouldn't it have been easier for him to just call a cab? He told me he wanted to know the city better. At midnight? Why not? After all, you operate your business after dark yourself. Touché. Perhaps he just didn't want to go home yet. And I might be mistaken here, but I thought he doesn't like drinking. Wasn't it partying? Nevertheless, I think last night was quite different. It appears he had dinner with his team, and he needed the extra courage in order to negotiate with them about his proposed new direction. Oh, I see. I suppose it didn't go as expected. Perhaps. And I know that feeling all too well. Miss? However, he said he will keep negotiating until they reach a compromise. That's good. Is it though? Miss Rachel told me about the hoops she had to jump through at the beginning of her career with her teammates as well. Likewise, Mr. Lucas has to work hard to obtain approval from his team for his actions. How can they still be so positive? What do you mean? I just cannot picture myself convincing others to give me a chance like that. I almost wanted to ask, why do we have to be at the mercy of others in order to succeed or fail? Can't talent speak for itself? But if I truly believe that, with the number of rejections I have received so far, I should have stopped a long time ago, shouldn't I? Right, that's why it doesn't work that way. What do you mean? Let the talent speak for itself. We would all have to have the same standards. I see what you mean. Art would cease to be art if it were standardized, wouldn't it? However, doesn't that imply that everything still depends on the whims of the individual judging you at that moment? How does someone like Miss Rachel or Mr. Lucas manage to be fine with that? Perhaps because they don't see it as the be-all and end-all. What do you mean? Rather than viewing them as judges with the authority to determine their fates, perhaps they simply see them as hills to either overcome or avoid, if that makes sense. Just a matter of perspective as to where the power lies. But it's not easy to climb those hills, especially if you've never done it before. Therefore, it's good to try and find out what works for you, or ask for guidance or assistance, even. because one can't possibly know every single way to overcome obstacles, or be able to safely recognize warning signs without first learning about them from others. Is that what you're trying to say? I see. Still, Miss Riona? Ah, yes. Sorry, I got a bit lost in my thoughts. You're fine, I promise. But speaking of Mr. Lucas, what happened to him after the call? I picked him up and drove him home. Whoa, but I thought you're located in Bellevue. I am, but I still had unfinished business in the downtown area. Moreover, he suddenly began singing quite loudly, nearing the end of our call, which led me to conclude that it would be best for me to go and fetch him. I see. How was his singing, in your opinion? It wasn't too bad, if not for the fact that he was screaming most of the lyrics, that is. Well, his hoodie was soaked when I arrived, so he had to take it off before getting into my car. Thankfully, the water did not completely soak through to his shirt, so he remained relatively dry. However, I still had to lay down the seat covers, as for his fur got rather wet. Hope he didn't get sick then. I should go now. Alright, will you be okay? I have a lot to think about. Thank you for being so patient with my concerns, Emmy. No problem at all. Anytime. Have a good evening then, Emmy. Come back again soon.